Okay, so I really wanted to take some time and really kind of dedicate some time to this issue because this is the issue. This is the civil rights issue. This is the equality for the people of the LGBT community, gay people. This is the civil rights issue. This is very similar to the 1964 for African Americans, as you're going to see. We're going to be talking about. This is extremely important, and this will be huge. This will be a landmark case for sure. And basically what it is a case is in the Supreme Court right now, basically with Master Shop Bakery or Cake Shop against this gay couple who was denied service by this cake shop. And it has basically, what happened is the state law in Colorado says you cannot discriminate based on gender, sexual orientation, or any of that. So, it went to state court, and I believe it went to the Supreme Court, and they said, yeah, we're going to fine you because it's against the law, which it was. So now it's made its way up to the Supreme Court because I believe it's Jack Phillips has made the case that it violates his constitutional rights. So here's the thing, okay, and this is why this is so important. Basically, this case will decide whether or not, literally, and I mean seriously, whether or not businesses can post a sign out on the window saying, no gays allowed, no transgender people allowed, no any of that. Really, and this can extend even further too. And here's something I'm going to be talking about as well, because there are a few defenses that are being made. Now, to my understanding, the main defense is the religious freedom. But this is not, the way that the religious freedom, and I don't know if I've told you guys this, said this, but there has been a very, perversion, a big perversion of the freedom of religion that was, placed in the First Amendment of the Constitution. It was supposed to mean that you can practice whatever religion you want in your homes, in your private place. You do whatever you want, because the people came here after the Church of England and all that shit. So they wanted to make it so that basically everybody can, practice whatever religion they want. They can be a part of whatever religion they want. And that's what it should be. But, as the religious right has become more powerful, basically there have been Supreme Court cases saying, there was the Hobby Lobby case where they can deny birth control as part of the health care and a lot of different things like that. Now, so here we have this case that gone to the Supreme Court. Now, it's very cutthroat right now, so it's definitely going to be, most likely anyways, obviously going to be, it looks like a 5-4 ruling. And which way it's going to flip, we don't know. Now, the key vote in this is going to be Justice Kennedy, Anthony Kennedy. So, it seemed to be going well, and he was very skeptical of the side of Jack Phillips, because he was saying that, is it really speech? And another one of the arguments that I was going to say is that they're making the argument that it's protected under freedom of expression. This idea that, cakes are art, and somehow that when you're baking a cake, whatever's on the cake is what you're expressing, that or something. And I thought one of the justices asked the question, saying, if someone makes a cake saying, I'm sorry, are you saying I'm sorry to that person? Because you're not. And that's the key question to ask somebody when they say, oh, it's freedom of expression. Just say, what are you expressing? Is purchasing a cake that they make somehow an approval of someone's marriage? I didn't know that was part of baking a cake, that you have to approve the person's marriage. You're not expressing anything. You're just baking a cake that's eaten, bro. It's really not that deep. And again, then you say, oh, well, it's against their religious beliefs. It doesn't matter. If it's against your religious beliefs, don't bake cakes, period. You can't discriminate based on arbitrary characteristics. So you can't just, basically serve to people who are not gay. And this comes back again to the civil rights. Always got to check the people with the civil rights, okay? Civil Rights Act of 1964. Because, recall the Bible was used to defend slavery. And there's all kinds of racist and all of that type of shit. It tells you how to keep your slaves and all that stuff. And this is all religions, by the way. So I'm not just trying to single out the, Christians and Bible, Islam and shit and all that stuff, right? So And there's a verse in there that says that women can't be teachers. Let's say hypothetically that the baker says, "Oh, your wife is going to be a teacher, and that's against my religion, so I'm not gonna bake you a cake." Like, you shouldn't be able to do that. Bake the damn cake, or shut down and don't have a business that's open to the public. A business that's open to the public should not be discriminating based on, things like gender, race, sexual orientation, etc., etc. They should not be discriminated. They should not be allowed to, similar to how you can't say, "Hey, we're not going to serve black people." You can't do that because that is undermining the rights of the citizens of the country. A business that's open to the public should serve everyone, regardless of, those kind of, arbitrary characteristics. But, Anthony Kennedy was very skeptical of the argument where it came to freedom of expression and speech and was questioning that stuff. But it seemed to take a little bit of a turn because here's what this New York Times article says. They say, later, though, Justice Kennedy said that a state civil rights commission that had ruled against the baker had been, quote, neither tolerant nor respectful of Mr. Phillips' religious beliefs. And as soon as I read this, I said, what? I was just shocked. I'm like, because I was reading it, everything was going good. I was like, okay, he's checking them and all that. Because remember, this is basically going to be the key vote. So once I read this, I'm like, and this is the thing too, we hear this argument all the time. You can't tolerate intolerance. So, let's say somebody's a Nazi. You can't just tolerate that, be like, oh, they're trying to kill you until we got to be tolerant of that. We don't like gay people, so you had to be tolerant of intolerance. That is an utterly, and when I say utterly, I mean utterly embarrassing argument because you can't tolerate intolerance. So that is just a disgusting thing that I've seen, and it just seems like a somewhat like childish kind of thing to say. Like, focus on the Constitution. I don't care if you're saying tolerant or respectful of Mr. Phillips' religious beliefs. People are able to do whatever they want. I'm sure they respect their religious beliefs in their homes or whatever. And just think about it, man. Like, you're let's say hypothetically you're gay and you go into a bakery and you ask for a cake and they're like, no, we think that you're committing a huge sin and you're gonna be blazing in fire for the rest of eternity. When that type of stuff happens, it's brutal. And they said they were humiliated. I really feel bad for them. When you go in and you get denied like that, it's like, wow, like, these people really just denied me a cake because of my sexual orientation. It's really fucked up. And to think that in the United States of America, supposedly the land of the free, this will set a precedent because, like I said, you'll be able to put up signs. Business owners will be able to put up signs saying no gays, no transgenders, etc., etc. You'll go around and be like, holy shit, I thought I was free in this country. You aren't free for shit. Well, first of all, obviously you're not fully free, but it's ridiculous. Just think about that. That's like a dystopia almost. Like, it's ridiculous. And we're going backwards. And like I said, this is the fight for gay people's equality. This is the front. This is the fight that we need to win. This Supreme Court case will be extremely key because it will also, and they're already talking about it too. They're talking about the freedom of speech extending to a bunch of other type of people, a bunch of other jobs. So it's extremely, extremely crucial, and it's just really important that you guys know about this, and that's why I really had to tell you guys about that. But it's basically the Solicitor General, Trump's lawyer, is actually defending Jack Phillips in this. I talked to you guys about that when I said that gay people's rights are under attack, and I broke that down to you guys. He said that it would be harder to justify discrimination against interracial couples than gay ones. He said, quote, race is particularly unique, and some justices did not have that sit well with them. And I think that it shouldn't either. Like, this is no different. And again, basing it off of religion is ridiculous, because if you look at religion, you can find literally things against everybody in there. Mormons, I believe Mormons think that black people were like something about them, and they weren't able to be ministers and all that stuff. It's just wrong. You can't do that because religions are stupid, and that's why it wasn't meant to be like that. It's supposed to be, you can practice whatever religion you want in your private place in your home. You need to keep it out of there. And if you don't want to serve cakes, fine, shut down, get another job, do whatever the fuck you want. But you can't discriminate based on that. Your ass is going to get hit with the fine. Similarly to why you can't discriminate against interracial couples, why you can't tell a black person you can't be served here because of your skin color. The same way, you should be serving a cake. It's a fucking cake. You're not expressing anything. You're not complicit. You're just making a damn cake. And also, here's the thing too. He said that, this guy said that he'd be cool with selling anything off the shelves or pre-made cakes. So, if you're complicit somehow in making the cake custom, why would you not be complicit in the sale of that cake? Because you're the one basically effectively giving it to them in exchange for money. So that doesn't make sense either. And it's just really crazy. And it's really, really going to be interesting to see. This is in Colorado again that I was trying to say. But here's something that it was saying. This is what I was trying to get to. It says, at Tuesday's argument, he said a broad ruling for Mr. Phillips could undermine the decision by allowing all sorts of artists, artisans, and professionals to refuse to provide goods and services for same-sex weddings. This is a civil rights issue, and we need to fight for this because you can't truly be equal if you go around in all these businesses that you see say no gay people, no transgenders, etc., etc. This is the fight for equality, and we need to win. Support independent progressive media by leaving a subscription down below, leave a like and share the video, help us out on Patreon, or you can donate in other ways. Links are in the description down below. We are fighting Trump tooth and nail, and we will continue to do so with your help.